I want to talk about Riddim. A tweet came up by beastboi that caused a little bit of controversy. Not sure why, but you know, the scene be the scene. And everyone had their say. While you may consider 144,000 views not that considerable on Twitter, and with 100 quote tweets from producers as well. Dr. Ushu, I've seen people from the tear out scene talking about Riddim being the same sound over and over as if they're not trying to sound like Nimda over and over again. That's a whole nother video, to be honest. What I find very funny about this though is that someone said got too popular. But this is also the same mindset we had in the old school dubstep days where it got too popular, but it got too popular in the sense that it got out to the mainstream and fucking Britney Spears was putting it in her music. Anyway, I'm getting off course, but I want to talk about Riddim and what it means to me. Now, I was a very late Riddim comer. My first iterations to Riddim was around 2016, I want to say. I had a failed attempt at making a Riddim song. But it's not quite failed. 4 bars of fury. It was kind of like the FuntCase version of Riddim anyway. I remember I made this song and I dropped it in Miami at the Hangar. Shout out to those of you who remember that venue. And I remember it got no reaction when I dropped it. Now this was back in 2017 days when bro step and the bro step sound was like the in thing. It was the most popular thing. Zomboy, Must Die, mainly all the Never Say Die guys. So for me, when I made 4 Bars of Fury and I played the earlier version of it, and it got like no reaction, I remember thinking this is probably not a good idea. And then I finished a song and put it out, and it got such a good reaction. So much so that these boys remixed it. Fast forward to now, and Riddim is more popping than ever. I would argue it's probably the most popular it's ever been. And you can start to see Riddim now in a more commercial sense, like higher up on the lineups at festivals and all that sort of stuff. Look at people like Infect. People like Hamro even doing main stage at Lost Lands. Like, good for them, dude. There's so many more talents in the underground scene and in the overground scene now, even if you want to include someone like Hole. You would argue Hole isn't Riddim, you would argue Hole is Riddim. Let's not go there. My point is it's infiltrated the scene. What used to be a sort of like bedroom DJ, at-home chopping style genre that like just made people happy, maybe at its simplicity. And what I feel like for this day's scene is that Riddim is needed more than ever. In a scene that's more saturated than ever with music, in a scene that's probably too serious these days. And believe me, I'm part of this as well, being the whole FuntCase thing, but I at least try to be funny as me, and then FuntCase on stage is angry, I don't know. But that true, like, homies vibe on stage, everyone going mad, that boiler room set feeling. Ever since I've been touring as a DJ in 2009, I've not seen this truly come back in the scene for a long time, until Riddim. So for me, I want to personally praise Riddim. Now, when you look at sets like boiler room sets, people like Scream, Mala, any drum and bass guys, any breakbeat guys, any house guys, whatever. The vibes in these sets are so big. You got the people behind you, you got the people in front of you, everyone going mad, everyone jumping up and going woo! And we've lacked this in dubstep for so long. Dubstep, like I say, got too serious. Most artists these days are on stage on their own, just playing loads of angry, aggressive music or whatever music it is you're into. It can even be deeper styles of dubstep. My point is that everyone is kind of solo on stage, and yeah, they might have their homies behind them enjoying them, but that like hyped holy shit moment where everyone's going mental. And even from back in my old days, like people would look over at the CDJs and try and see what your CD says, like on the writing on the CD. Obviously now we pivoted to USBs, but that now feels like what Riddim is. For me, it's that homies at home bouncing around going mental. Holy crap, you got that dub, how did you get that dub? We haven't seen this since back in the old school days of dubstep. We finally have it back, and it's like, for me, it's a breath of fresh air. Because now we have two sides of the scene. We have the serious, like, I'm trying to be dark and evil and this is loud, angry music. And we've got the other side of the scene, which is like all the homies bounce around on stage going, holy fuck, what's that hack dub? Holy shit, how did he get that jock spesh? Fucking hell, Skrillex made Riddim, how did you get that? That's a personal shout out for you, by the way, in fact. And personally, I love it. What's not there to love? Now, I think this is pressing into a more serious issue, which is something that we keep going into back and forth each year with dubstep, which is holier than thou. I listen to a better style of music than you. And what's even crazier is I bet half the people that moan about Riddim being too repetitive and samey are probably the same people that enjoy house. For me, Riddim is like house. The point is it's supposed to be repetitive. It's supposed to have a flow and a bounce. You can almost zone out to it. But on the other side of it as well is Riddim has that ADHD side of it, where there's edits all over the place. And if you go to a Riddim set, people are chopping it up, doing crazy edits. You say B-Flow, doing 4-deck mixes. Cod Dubs doing 825,000 deck mixes. There's everything you want in Riddim, and I find it personally to be such a great genre. I mean subgenre, sorry. But I don't think it's fair to be singling out a part of a dubstep scene just because you don't like it. Now, something Naughty Step said made me very curious. He said, not gonna lie, I've been holding my tongue on this one. Firstly, because I'm a massive fan of Kai, beastboi, as a musician and a person. But more so because I fear this is a conversation the scene will never be able to truly, properly have. What conversation? I know Naughty Step. We've hung out. We've eaten food together. Connor's a lovely dude. And I would love to get his thoughts on this. Maybe even have a chat for a YouTube video or something. But for me, what is the conversation this scene will never be able to truly properly have? Is this about Riddim? Is Riddim the conversation? Is the conversation that dubstep's gone stale? Is the conversation that artists you don't like or styles you don't like have become more mainstream and you don't like that? I don't know. But I think the scene is ready for a conversation. I think every year the scene tries to conversate on dubstep and all of its subgenres and what it's about and what it means. But I feel like we go through this every year. This whole rigmarole of like, dubstep is stale, the scene's boring, it's the same music coming in and out. And to that I say, you're not looking hard enough. There's so much amazing music in dubstep. This is not just a Riddim problem. This is an everything. Dubstep is such a cultural, crazy phenomenon now. And I mean that musically, like there's so many styles for you to go and check out. The emergence of someone like Sizzy, for instance, the album was amazing. And it got widely recognized as an amazing album and something a bit different. And people love that. People can strive for something different in dubstep, but it's always going to be there. And if you're bored and it's stale, go and listen to another genre. But maybe you're not looking hard enough, I feel like, honestly. I don't know, I want to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments. Is Riddim played out? Are you enjoying it? Have you been a Riddim fan for a long time and has it got stale? Are you a new Riddim fan and it's exciting to you? Have your say down below and let's chat. FuntCase out.